Today you go longboarding in the Olympic Park in Munich, Germany. It's still in the morning as you get up quite early to hit the crowd and enjoy this huge park before it gets too busy. It's been barely 5 minutes since entering the park and already you feel a positive vibe, a sensation of liveliness and awakening. You start pushing and immediately you feel the same energy and enthusiasm in your body and can't wait to have a fun longboard session in this park. After a long period of rain, it's the first sunny day. Birds are singing at the top of their lungs, the trees and meadows are presenting themselves in the greenest green, and you're grateful for the warming sunrise on your skin. There's a tower to your left and the outskirts of Munich to your right. Except from that, you do not really know where you are in the park right now. You looked on a map once, because there's one route you can follow to surround the park. But then you decide to not try too hard to follow a particular route and just to enjoy the ride, curious what you're going to experience. You start pushing a little bit harder to pass people that are walking in front of you. On the left hand side you detect tennis courts, and even some tennis players on them already practicing their serves. You keep following the so far mostly flat track. The surface isn't the smoothest you've ever longboarded on, but with a few more powerful kicks you can gain some speed. Even enough speed to take a deep breath while you keep rolling for a little bit without pushing, but just shifting your weight from one side to the other. It's not that exhausting as you think, but the screen is simply breathtaking. It reminds you of Scottish meadows, where you haven't been before, but that's at least what you imagine it could look like. As you sink into a little daydream, scenery suddenly changes. The track gets wider, leads you over a bridge, and you're approaching quite a unique architectural style. What a contrast to the green you think as you get closer, curious to explore this section of the park. It's starting to get a little busier and you do not know where to look first. You keep turning your head left and right, up and down, whilst you keep pushing and using your back foot to slightly turn to go around the people. You're discussing with yourself whether you find this building rather cool and special or a bit too futuristic and peculiar, so that you nearly overlook the tower which you are right in front of now. There's a different vibe here, a little faster paced. Some people on their morning runs, some construction workers, and a few trucks that are selling food and souvenirs for a Harry Styles concert. You start pushing again. As the surface is pretty good, it only requires a few kickbacks. Not very powerful, but slow and controlled. Having enjoyed this little change of scenery, you can't wait to dive back into the more natural parts of the park. With the tower in the back, you keep following the track, passing a few more food stands where people are having either late breakfast or early lunch. Once you leave the last stands behind, you take a right turn, and at the latest, when you again hear the birds singing their most beautiful songs for you, you know you're back in a more quiet area, which you're grateful for, in order to process all the impressions you just picked up. You enjoy following the track along the lake with sights on the tower, still admiring the green meadows to your left and watching the hustle and bustle on the right from a little distance. The path is slightly going up, and as you keep pushing with your foot, for the first time you realize you are actually physically active. Where in that moment you spot an outdoor gym and feel an immense motivation boost, as you see other people getting their body in shape too, well aware that you're not only physically doing good for your body, but also embracing the feeling of happiness which comes along when moving. The track continues along the lake and from time to time splits up between the pedestrians and cyclist lane. You're starting to ask yourself which of them to choose and whether to consider longboarding rather as walking or riding a bike, but then dropping all those thoughts to simply choose the less crowded way. Still there's some traffic, so you alternate a powerful kick and carving on a longboard. That way you're gently turning, to give way for oncoming people. When standing on a longboard you remain in a position with your knees slightly bended, so you're ready to make a quick turn at any time. Suddenly a group of cyclists is coming closer and you're rushing to get out of the way, before you have to take another turn as a kid on a bike is in your way again. Nevertheless you stay on the fastest cyclist lane, and for the first time the path is inclining downhill. So all you need to do is to transfer your weight between your heels and toes. Your balance is great, so you can let your gaze wander. Green meadows are to your left and the blue lake on the right. You're also gently turning to the left or right to pass or give way for people while moving forward with nearly no effort. Longboarding is fun in general, but going downhill for sure gives you the most positive feelings. A feeling of flow and freedom. You're not even going that fast as there's still people on the path, but just the fact that you're moving forward without pushing makes you so happy. You try to go low with your body to avoid losing the momentum, and soon you're passing under a bridge. If you stay low, you might even make it to the next crossing, where you have to stop anyway to have a look and decide which direction to continue. You're getting slower and not going any faster than if you were walking, but you reach the street without pushing once. You see the pavement and can't resist. This road looks way smoother. You look left and right and don't think twice. Instead of crossing, you decide to change direction, turning left and continuing the smoother road. Unfortunately, this excitement doesn't last very long. Just after a few meters of a surface everybody longboarding would dream of, this road turns out to be bumpier than the one before. You start pushing again and can clearly feel the uneven ground. It's as if my body is bouncing and vibrating at the same time, I think. Views aren't as pretty as earlier too. There are just some trees that are blocking the views on the park. But at least there's no traffic, and the road is quite wide, so you don't have to watch out for cars and can focus on your kicks. You hold on to the spark of hope that the road would get smoother any second, but looking forward you guess that's not very likely. Still, you're not losing your motivation. Oftentimes those bumpy roads lead to something special, for which the struggle moving forward now will have been worth it. That's the attitude, you say to yourself, and keep pushing. You're trying to use the whole power of your leg to push forward. These long and powerful kicks require good balance, since you're standing with just one foot on the longboard while pushing with the other one. You're supporting like a slightly bended, which helps to balance out too. You go into an active posture, leaning your upper body a little forward and using your arms to balance and get momentum. You totally forget about the surroundings, you're in a flow state, fully focused on your kicks and holding balance. There are nearly no people anymore, and you're wondering whether this is still part of the park. But there is no crossing within sight anyway, so you just keep going. As you're finally getting closer to the end of the road, you're talking to yourself with an impish smile on your lips. I think I'm a little lost, nearly regretting not having had a more detailed look on a map earlier. But suddenly you spot the tower, which you know would lead your way back. You re-enter the park from a side you would have probably never seen staying on a main path. You're even feeling more confirmed as this path emerges to go downhill, and all the impressions fly by faster than you can receive. That's the best part, going downhill. You remain in an active posture, slightly bending the knees to stay flexible to compensate if you have to pass little bumps on the track. Apart from this, you're just soaking up those moments of easiness and joy that you're feeling when moving forward so effortlessly. You're asking yourself if you just really saw people using a leaf blower to clean their French bowls ground. Still smiling just because this picture you captured looks so funny. The track flattens from here, but you manage to keep your speed by slightly shifting your body weight from one side to the other. That way you're even gaining more speed as the surface is smooth too, which you're very delighted about. You're fully gripped by the thrill of speeding. You're overtaking some people walking, houses are passing by, and birds seem to sing a lot faster and energetic too. You take a look in the sky where even the sun is shining for you and you think, life couldn't be better right now. Looking forward again, the next crossing is with a new side, and you begin to brake. You're taking your foot off the board as if you were pushing, but instead of adding more speed, for a split second you're tapping your foot on the ground and dragging it across, which slows you down. The supporting leg is once more slightly bended, which helps to stay in balance. As you're taking out the same speed, the tower appears to your left, and you stop at the crossing where you catch a snippet of a conversation saying they would follow this way, which leads up a hill with views over the entire park. You're very tempted to go, but you're starting to feel a little tired, so you decide to take a left turn, which would lead your way back towards your base. You're starting to push the longboard again, using the full range of motion of your leg to gain momentum. By pulling up your knee, then pushing off the ground with your foot, and having the arm swing adapted to the movement, you get ahead. Still, you can't stop looking to the left, where you're trying to spot the viewpoint until the track drives off into an alley of trees blocking your view. Nevertheless, you can't stop thinking of the view you're probably missing out on. Your legs are saying no, but you cannot resist. There's nothing better than a good view from the top. Your tired legs no longer take into account, and without really wanting it, you take the next right turn to go back to the crossing that you left only a few minutes ago. The growing excitement makes your kick even more powerful. Now you want to get back to the track that brings you to the top of the hill and the view you're already imagining in your mind as quick as possible. You're pleased to notice that you do not have to go all the way back, as there are a few different ways to the top. You take another right turn, which is the shortest way up the hill, crossing another bridge, and you spot signs leading you the right way to the viewpoint. You're kicking a few more times, but as you're losing speed without having decreased the kick rate, you realize that from now on the track is getting increasingly steeper. That's gonna be the final sport. You do not feel the flow feeling anymore, only your booty and legs. Still, you don't stop moving. You clench your teeth and keep pushing. In order to move forward at all, you have to increase the rating of your kicks, which is increasingly exhausting. But once more, the tower gives you orientation. The higher you get, the closer you can see the spire of the tower. You turn a spotlight on the tower and the continuously improving view that distracts you from legs that are screaming stop moving. You ignore that voice and make a few even more powerful pushes to gain some extra meters on your way up. You see runners and cyclists passing by on their way down, making you feel a little jealous, as this seems a lot easier than what you are doing right now. But you realize that all of them must have climbed the hill as well before they could go down now. While body and mind are still fighting to not listen to the voice saying stop moving, you keep going, putting all your energy in every push. Every push hurts more, but it will be worth it, you promise yourself, until you finally spot the top. Now there are only a few meters to go. You will bring this fun longboard trip that turned out a little more exhausting than expected to an end, by reaching the top and enjoying this hard-earned view over the park. You made it. I'm impressed. That's moments we move for.